There we go. Hi, I'm Phoenix, and I'm here with the lovely Lauren, which you just saw, and together we are for this, well, primarily it's for the group that we both belong to, Intuitive Spiritual Development, and that's something that it appears that both of us are very passionate about, and helping people reach their potential. And so we put it out there and asked for some questions at this time of the year to help people progress and move forward. So today we're going to go through about 5 questions, and we will, I'm sure I tend to go off on tangents, and I think Lauren's probably going to be the same. So this is
yes.
us have worked together. And so I'm Phoenix, and I've done a few sessions online before, but that's okay. And I'll let Lauren, because Lauren's there, I'll let her say hello.
Hi, everyone. So this is my premiere, and really thankful for Phoenix for doing this with me. And I'm really excited. We got a lot of really good questions. And I know that this topic was something that I personally had to go through and figure out how to hear my own guidance. And I figured a lot of you would have, the same questions, and apparently you do. So I'm excited to get started.
Well, I'm really looking forward to it. So I'm going to start with the first one. We're just going to go with the flow. I mean, both of us don't really like fitting in boxes. So whatever, we're both Geminis. So both of us are going to jump in when we feel things are going to come forward and be said. And or once again, just feel free to discern whatever is being said today. Always take things to heart, never to head, always to heart. Let it settle there for a bit and decide whether or not that works for you. That's essentially how progression and your true path occurs. And it's very interesting that I'm starting to talk like this. I must have allowed a few things through, because the first question that we've got is by Carrie, and she asked, am I doing what is meant? Wow, that is a pretty generalized question. And as I was saying before, that really, if you follow your passion and if you allow yourself to do the things that you are feeling really inspired to do, because essentially as human beings we feel, and but of course we're spiritual beings having a human experience. So if you combine the two together to allow your connection with whoever you connect with, whether or not it be source, heaven, your guides, your totem animals, whatever, however you connect and whatever you do, and if it's in line with your passion, you will feel a sense of excitement. It's pure. I mean, I remember when Lauren and I were first talking about our being paired to do this kind of thing. The two of us got extremely excited about the prospect of doing this. And if you follow your excitement, and if you do what feels right, and if you allow your head to work through any doubts and fears that, of course, always flips up depending on where you are in your development, if you can just pacify those thoughts that go through your head and work from your heart, then you will always do what is meant. And I remember looking at this question before, Carrie, when you posted it. I don't like to look at the questions only because I don't want my own mind to get in the way. But the thing is, if you are doing it, you are meant to be there. There is no right or wrong in life. Everything that you do in life is filling up your spiritual toolbox. It's allowing you to grow in ways that sometimes takes you out of your comfort zone, and also takes you on directions that you didn't even think that was possible. Right. So if you allow yourself to follow your passion, follow your heart, you will find yourself in places that match the very feelings that are going on inside of you. Mm-hmm. Now, the only time that you are not doing what is meant is once again by how you are feeling. If it's feeling wrong, if it gives you if your emotions are not really matching the desire to be there, or vice versa, then it's best if you allow the two to come together in another way. But irrelevant of what you're doing or how you're doing it, it's filling up that surgical toolbox. So Carrie, no matter what you do, you're always meant to be there for whatever reason, whether or not it's for an opportunity or for the ability to increase your knowledge with regard to something. I mean, there's been so many different things that I've been involved in life. You know, initially I thought I was taking the shamanic route. You know, I thought I was going down that path, and I thought I was, you know, going to be a healer and connect, because, you know, I'm a registered nurse. I don't know if anybody knows that, but I thought I was going to be taking a spiritual healing pathway, and it didn't quite work out that way. But I've found that with the people that work through me, my healing is happening in different ways. I'm helping people to heal themselves, as opposed to using energy or any type of spiritual healing modality, which amazing people are just incredible with. And, you know, and I do receive healing from them from time to time. So Carrie, I hope from my perspective this has answered your question. I don't know if you've got anything more that you want to add to that, Lauren.
I do, especially when it came to, as far as, you know, following your passion and your heart. I think where sometimes a lot of the confusion could come up is that we, like you were talking earlier, like getting that passion and talking about doing this, and then as we get closer, I'm like, oh no, I'm going to be on camera. I'm getting a little bit nervous. I'm getting a little bit fearful. But there's a difference between being fearful of, you know, of putting yourself out there and following that path, and a difference of that negative feeling of hesitation. It's a different type of fear, and that's where you feel it in your heart. So fear of following your passion because you're taking a risk, know that difference between that and then feeling hesitation and not, like you're resisting, like something is resisting, you're not feeling right in that place. It's two totally different, but both can be interpreted as fear. And if you can be aware of that slight, subtle difference, I think that you'll know more where you are meant to be, where your passion, where your heart is leading you.
Absolutely, absolutely right. And fear is the major resistance to many of us. And if you can identify whether or not that fear is justified on anything real,
yes,
and
also, most isn't, right?
Exactly. And if you can just put out there, it's like, right, and you can honor that feeling, right? It's okay to be fearful as long as it doesn't stop you from progressing. I mean, we're here to feel. So if you are feeling resistance or fearful with regard to any kind of new endeavor that you find yourself in, one, you can just say, well, all right, okay, I'm feeling this way. You can acknowledge it. And two, you can just say, right, well, I need some help with this. And whether or not the help's going to come with spiritual help or those like-minded people in your life that will help, you know, you run some pom-poms that rah-rah and help you go forward. Ensure that you have the right support team around you. And even if you feel as though that support team is not there, especially in human life, they are most definitely there in spirit life. And they are, whether you know them or not, it's irrelevant. It's all you have to say, like, hey, I'm ready. I'm really scared about doing this, but I want to do this. This is my passion. This is my dream. This is the thing that I know is right for me right now. And I say right now because things shift. As you grow, things shift, and more things will come into your life. So, Carrie, I hope that has answered part of your question. It's very broad. It's something that many of us ask us, what is our purpose? What are we meant to do? Whatever it is, nothing is right. Nothing is right or wrong. Right. It just is, and it's filling up that toolbox that you are doing as you grow into the spaces of your choice. And that's essentially what we are all doing. We are all growing into the spaces of our choice based on our choices. So if you can work through the fear, work through the resistance, you'll find that you will be where you are meant to be. And that's exactly what Lauren said. Don't, always follow through with the things that you enjoy. So I think, Carrie, that's for your question, that's probably as much as that we can answer at this point. But if you have any more questions regarding that, feel free to ask them later on. Now, Lauren said she was going to address the first for Cindy's question. So I'm going to leave that with you.
All right, Cindy, let me read this again. Okay. So when you're meditating, you're only seeing colors now and outlines of shapes. And you're wondering if this is from your medication. I don't feel like it's from your medication. I feel like it's just a progression. It's something new that you're opening up to. I know that I see a lot of shapes and colors when I meditate, and usually that's only what I see. When I meditate, I'm not getting the information right away. It's usually after I've meditated, when my mind's calm, then I realize the things that I was getting. So if you're seeing colors and shapes, I really feel like that's just your third eye kind of opening. That's the feeling that I'm getting anyway. And it's nothing wrong. I don't know what you were getting before, what you're comparing that to, but I don't think it's anything negative to be worried about. I just feel like it's you opening up and just and seeing, you know, the different colors and the energies while you meditate. And I think it's a positive thing. You have anything to add, Phoenix?
I do, only because I'm being pushed to.
Okay.
When we meditate, we alter our brain waves, our frequency, yeah? And whatever frequency we are at, we are going to experience visions or hearing or feelings based on what frequency we're currently at. Now, there are some planes of existence, and I know that's going to freak you out, Cindy, but there are planes of existence that are pure color, and it'll be quite interesting. I know you're saying that you see colors, but it would be very interesting to see what types of colors, because as human beings we only experience I think there's 12 colors, but there are way more colors out there, especially when you're working within source. The energy and the lights and the frequency of colors and spectrum that is there is vast, you know, way vast than what we're experiencing. And there are so many different planes of existences out there that there are places where it is pure spectrums of color, and yes, they will take form they will take form. And as you are trying to understand from the brain perspective and a human perspective, you're thinking colors, but the thing is, if you can just let go the human definition of what you are seeing and just bringing it back down into the heart space where you are connected to your constant flow of knowledge that comes from source, then you can soon bring things back into focus. So the colors will get more vibrant, the outlines will take more of a defined shape, and as Lauren said, it's a new step of you being able to experience something based on whatever is happening in your life right now, Cindy, whether or not it's around color in general. There'll be a reason why you are experiencing this. And the really interesting thing, you know, why do I no longer see really anything? The thing is, you are seeing a lot, but because of your human definition of how we should see and how we do perceive is very different to the place or to wherever you're going, where you're experiencing what you are experiencing. If you just let your definition, your human definition go, then you will find that the forms will take shape, the colors will become more vibrant, and you will not be defining them based on your current belief of what things you should be seeing when you're meditating. I hope that makes some sense with regard to what was said there. I have no idea what I just said, but that's all right. Just realizing that you are experiencing something, you're moving into a new spectral range of what you are experiencing when you go into meditative state, and it's a good thing. It's not a bad thing. It's a good thing. And then, there are times when you can have control about, hey, you know what? The colors are beautiful. But once you've worked that one out, you can say, okay, the colors are fantastic. Can I try something else now? You can put the intent out there about what type of thing you want to do as you're going into a meditative state. Okay, all right. Right now I want to meet my guide, or right now I want to go to Color World, or right now I want to be one with an angel. You can... If your intent is strong, you can discover so much more than what you've currently experienced, Cindy. So I applaud your next phase of experience. You've opened yourself up to something new, and that's something to be proud of.
Yes, I agree. I think I learned a little something there, Phoenix, because the same thing for me. Like I see a lot of purple, and then it gets more vibrant and flashy, and it eventually turns into like big flashing lights. And I always feel like, what is this? But it seems, for me anyway, after this that things start to make sense, or I realize I've been given information or something like that too. But yeah, thanks for asking that question, and thanks for answering, Phoenix. That was great.
Okay, you're welcome. We're going to do Carol's one. Not everyone's on meditation in this bit, but she's asked that she tries to meditate and visualize, but she gets nothing. And so this is almost like the converse of what we were just talking about. Is it possible my logical brain, and as I was talking about before, is trying to say this is only my imagination and not real? Oh, you know what? Anything as you develop and grow spiritually, oh wow, that this is a constant discussion that you have your head with your heart. Is it real? Is it my imagination? And it's the key thing that tends to shut us down when we are exploring new horizons. And one of the major things, and we'll get into the visualization aspect, but one of the major things as you exploring and finding new things in your spiritual development is to realize that regardless if it's your imagination, it has to come from somewhere. There's always a creative spark that has either come from within you or from, and as I said, that constant connection that you have with source, heaven, universal consciousness, it's constantly flowing with you. Is how much you allow to permeate through you to make sense of it. The reason, and I'll be honest, I don't meditate very often. One, I can't quiet the mind. Now, one of the techniques that I used to help quiet the mind, but I really can't. My mind is going 200 miles per hour pretty much all the time. So I have made peace with that, and I've let go of the Tibetan way of trying to still the mind and quiet the mind, because it's just not going to work for me. It's never going to work for me. But what I do suggest you do as you're going into doing your process and going into a meditative state, is to take your mind off the fact that you are doing it and start doing a mantra or a hum or anything that turns off your mind. Like you can either do Om, or you can say a mantra like I believe in me and I believe I can do this. I believe in me and I believe that I can do this. And you could do whatever you feel comfortable doing. Anything that your mind can focus on, so you can experience the things that you experience, regardless of what occurs during that process. Just allow it, and there's an allowance factor as well. I don't know if you've had a bad experience, Carol, with meditation. Sometimes when you're going into that theta state, you feel like you're falling, and then whoa, what was that? And you come back up. Or have you ever had something that's come in front of you, right in front of you, and scared you, and that brought you out of a meditative state? You might need to revisit some of the experiences that you've had. And if you've always had nothing, then you may not be a seeing person, because everyone has a different strength. I believe we can all do things. We can all see, we can all hear, we can all feel, we can all smell, we can all know these things. But when we are first starting our development process, there's always one or two that are very strong. Now, for me, it was a knowing. I had this constant connection with source, and I didn't realize that at the time, but I just had a constant connection. And then the next one was feeling. So I could feel things. So instead of thinking that you're going to see things, because people think visualization is what we see. But Carol, you may be feeling things, or hearing things, or just knowing something, that a thought enters your head and you think, whoa, where'd that one come from? So instead of going with the expectation that you're going to visualize as you meditate, let that go and just sit in your moment. Experience your moment in your way. Do whatever you need to do to switch off the brain, and try off with small time frames, like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and increase it as you experience more and more. And I can almost guarantee you that once those strengths, whatever they are, once they are getting stronger and stronger, the others are going to flow, and then you will start seeing things. But right now, right in this minute, be in your moment and your way. And even if it's just to be and experience and feel and do whatever you need to do at that time. There is no right or wrong way, even though they will tell you there's a right way to meditate. I don't believe there is. It's only your way. If you want to get into that receptive state, the only person that you need to focus on is your way of receiving. So do it in your way. And I'm quite curious to see how things go if you just sit in your moment. And Lauren, do you have anything more to add? I'm sure you do, because
well, I do, and a few things just piggybacking off of what you said. I know that for me, my mind would not stop too, and I would always question, is that real? Is it I'm just making this up type thing? I can't quiet my mind, blah, blah, blah. So eventually I wound up, a suggestion is binaural beats, because if you don't want to hum or do a mantra in your head, that is an easy way to focus on a sound. So it occupies your logical mind and kind of frees up that creative part that's in reception. Also, for me, and I only use myself as an example because, I know that it took a lot of patience, and I would get, patience isn't always my strong suit. Especially when it comes to myself and something I want to do. And it sounds in your question, very similar to that. So, and maybe getting frustrated that you're not seeing things. Like I was saying earlier, I don't see visuals so much as the colors. And like Phoenix was saying, I get feelings and knowings about things. And for you, I would just keep in mind, even if you have small moments where you say, oh my goodness, my mind was quiet for 30 seconds. It starts with those 10, 20 second little, you go, oh, I'm quiet. Okay, now I got to get back to quiet. And then you're trying to get back to that quiet stage. Don't beat yourself up about that. That is a really natural process when people are learning to meditate and trying to quiet their mind. And again, just the training of yourself and focusing on yourself for that time, even if your brain isn't completely quiet, it still puts you in a receptive state, and you don't realize maybe till after some of the things that you did receive. It's not just words that, we kind of expect these images to boom, show up in front of our eyes, and words and to actually hear a voice, or, it doesn't always work like that. It's a very subtle, and you learn by noticing the subtleties, and then those subtleties get a little bit stronger, and you're able to differentiate from them a little bit better as you practice. So that's my 2 cents.
Brilliant to me. It's absolutely right. One of the key things that take you out of a meditative state is that, or it's when you experience something that you're not expecting, whether or not you lose the connection, or you get something really profound and it just throws you out. It's okay. It is part of the process. And if you just allow yourself to relax and allow things to happen the way they need to happen, it will just get easier with each time. The good thing about meditation is there to make you feel settled, more at peace, and more connected with yourself. And if you just relax within yourself, regardless of the situations or the experiences that you have, then with practice and with time, it does get easier. So do what you feel like you need to do with each experience, and honor the fact that you managed to be there, or even honor the fact that you managed to, put time into it. We're very good at telling ourselves off, or telling ourselves that we have failed. We need to stop that. It takes practice to pat yourself on the back, or
it sure does. I always say, oh, I'm sorry, Phoenix. No. I always say, if you had a friend that talked to you the way we sometimes talk to ourselves, you would never keep that friend around. you would say, you would never accept that. And so, we kind of have to treat ourselves, be aware of that and be like, no, I'm not going to accept that treatment from myself even.
Exactly. And you're right. We would tell that person to get out of our house with half the stuff that goes through our brains. But seriously, be kind to yourself, no matter what kind of activity you find yourself in. And just regardless of how you define whatever experience that you've had, take a good hard look of how you've defined it and decide whether or not it feels right. Because I know you said, is this only my imagination and not real? That's an instant way of stopping yourself from going forward. The fact that you've experienced something, honor it, and then it allows the universe to think, okay, wow, she's listening. I'm going to do a whole lot more next time. I'm going to do a whole lot more next time after that because she's really excited. I mean, that's how it works. So, Carol, I hope that's answered your question and give you a sense of peace, because that's what we're trying to attain when we meditate in the moment. So just be in your moment in your way. And if you see something and your brain goes, that's just imagination, it's like, you know what, imagination, pretty damn awesome, I'm seeing some cool stuff here. And then it will get to the point where you actually see something that is it's not like we seek proof, but at the very beginning, we do like to have confirmation of the things that we experience. And take a look around, Carol. You will find that what you experience, there are other people out there talking about it. Now, if you can tap into something and your brain's going, oh, that's just imagination, you made it up. And then soon after, you read somewhere that someone has had a very similar experience. How's that up? How's that for affirmation? That you did it. You experienced something that other people have experienced too. It's not all in my imagination. And the more you do, the more you will find that you'll get the proof initially that you need. Now I don't so much need proof, only because I'm more comfortable in the experiences that I've had. But that takes time and practice, and you will get there. I don't know where you're at in your development, Carol, but you will get there as long as you move forward, pat yourself on the back when you do experience the things that you do, and just go gently on yourself, regardless of whatever experience you had. Switch off that head when you can. I can't, but when you can, or just pacifying it is probably the best thing to do. So, Carol, I hope that's answered your question, and I really encourage you, if you really want to meditate, then please do, and just be in your moment in your way. That's all I can say. Our next question is from Denise, and she's obviously got something going on physically, a condition in her life, and she's asking whether she will have it from now on. And she's saying it's causing a lot of problems and requiring increased medications, and she's worried about whether or not this physical condition will affect her intuition. Now, I'm a very, very strong believer, and Lauren may take this on a whole other tangent, and that's okay. That's the beauty of having two people, and I'm really enjoying it, by the way, Lauren. I'm of the thought, and I have been told this, that any kind of physical condition that we're experiencing, whether or not we had it at birth or it's manifested over time, is a representation of something that we need to learn. Now, you can decide, Denise, to allow that condition to define you, or you can decide whether or not that condition, because I'm a registered nurse, as I've said that before, you can allow that condition to bring out within you, the strengths that you have to keep on doing the things you love regardless. Now, yes, sure, I'm granted some of the medication that people take can deaden the senses, the physical senses, the human senses, and it can affect your ability to process thought and do all sorts of make you feel nauseated, or whatever side effects that you may or may not get from them. So there's two approaches that you can take with medication. You can allow it to do the work, but why? I don't know if you do Reiki. It's quite interesting. When I read your question, I kind of thought you did Reiki, but I don't know if you, it's something energy based with your medication. And you can also do with this with food or anything that goes within your body. You can say thank you for the treatment that you're giving me, and also thank you for stopping when it's no longer required. So then hopefully that will deaden the side effects of some of the medications that you have. So you can actually say, okay, thank you medication for healing aspects or stabilizing aspects within my physical body, but I still want to do the intuitive things that I do. And so my guides, please help me help keep my intuition growing strong. The thing with intuition is, if you believe that you are not well enough to do it, or immerse yourself into something that involves your intuition, then you will not do it. And your intuition, if you disconnect, because it's you that disconnects, not the fact that you're able to, but it's you that disconnects from the ability to connect. I don't know if that makes any sense to you, but you make the choice because, oh no, the medication's making me feel A, B, C, and D. Oh, well, that means I can't connect, or I can't be intuitive, or I can't read my cards, or I can't use my crystals. Or just try something when you are well, in a well space. Connect with your crystals, connect with the cards, connect with your guides, connect. And you will find that your intuition will never leave you, only if you believe it will. So I do hope you are, you ask whether or not this is temporary. As I said before, physical conditions are a representation of a lesson within whatever's going on in your environment or within you. So you need to ask yourself, I'm just trying to work out where if you are under a lot of stress and your nerves are a bit shot, you need to ask yourself, how can I get back on balance again? What can I anchor to help me get back on balance again, both physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally? Ask yourself. There's so much more I could talk on this, but it's,
yeah, I'm gonna add a, yeah, I'm right there with you, Phoenix.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna leave Lauren to do the rest of where I'm going with.
Okay, because I think I'm on track with you. So I'm also, Phoenix is a registered nurse, and I think a lot of us get into the healing professions. I'm an exercise physiologist. I deal with wellness and health and wellness and things like that. And even before I started really tapping into my intuition, I always knew that with most of my clients, I had to attack the mental part of it, the emotional part of it, before any of the physical change. And when people got into a better state of mind, it really did affect their health. It's, to me, even as a health person, like you always see, it's more about the mind and where you're at there, and that will affect your body. Certainly, there's that connection is so strong, so much stronger than people realize. And so that I would ask you to really, as you're going through this, try to be as present as possible with the emotions that come up for you, because it's going to be like, I feel like you can use this even to possibly make your intuition even stronger, because a lot of emotions are going to come up for you that might force you or put right in front of your face some things that you would want to work through or should, work through. And as you do that, it's kind of, you stay connected the way that Phoenix mentioned. You can even strengthen your intuition at this point. So just be very aware. That's the one thing I would really suggest for you. Be aware of the emotions come up. Don't fight them. Don't say this is a wrong emotion to have, this is a wrong feeling to have, but just be very aware of them and what's happening, almost kind of be a watcher of what's going on. And then later on, if you meditate or you do anything like that, some issues will come up that are the underlying for these emotions, because it's always going to be more than what the situation is. Like, getting mad that toilet paper roll was facing back and not forward, you know, things like that. There's always something more underneath going on. And if you allow yourself really to be present with what's going on with your body, it will tell you what you need to heal or confront and things like that. And like I said, possibly even get your intuition a little bit stronger, because you'll be more connected with your body and with your heart.
Absolutely. Perfect. It's that whole mind body, it's that trinity, it's that whole mind body soul thing.
Yes.
We forget to honor all three equally, and the answers are there right in front of you, Denise, and you will work through this, and you will be in your truth regardless of what physical things are occurring to you right now. So that's the end of this, our first session, and I'm so excited. And that's what I was talking about before, is following your passion and doing what you feel is right. And honestly, this whole thing has been completely right. We're going to do so much more, and I, Phoenix, I'm very, very pleased that we've managed to start this whole thing. So there'll be more, and I'm going to say thank you very much for watching our session, and do hope that you see the rest of them. And Laura?
All right. Well, thank you for listening, and I look forward to interacting with you more. Love and light.
Much love.